Welcome back to Nonprofit Marketing Minutes. Today, our Pivot Point series continues with us taking on the topic of unlearning, of facing the pivot or perish moment when our organization realizes its core program is no longer working and must face the scary task of starting over from within. We can end up here for a variety of reasons. Maybe we're a nonprofit that was founded to fight a specific disease that eventually is eradicated, a fantastic outcome worthy of celebration. Or maybe we run a youth center that's been focused entirely on recreation, but have come to realize that what the kids need more than just basketball courts is mental health support. If we're preparing to pivot because what we're doing is no longer working, we also need the bravery required to tell donors we aren't going to be doing that anymore, or we're going to be doing it differently. And with that comes the possibility of facing backlash from long-term donors who are emotionally attached to our old ways of doing things. Imagine you've spent 20 years marketing your youth basketball league. You've got the jerseys, the trophies, the local legacy. But then you look at the data and you realize that your courts are empty not because kids don't like sports, but because they're struggling with crippling anxiety and depression. If our true mission is youth well-being, then we owe it to them to evolve our programming. In marketing, we fall in love with our own campaigns. In nonprofits, we fall in love with our own programs. This is what we call the sunk cost fallacy. It's an idea that because we've invested thousands or even millions of dollars and decades of sweat into a certain path, we have to keep walking it, even if it leads to a dead end. Pivoting isn't just a strategy change, it's a brand identity crisis. When you realize your mission is obsolete, maybe because you actually succeeded in solving the problem, or maybe because the world moved on, you have to unlearn your own success to make room for a new kind of impact. But here's where the rubber meets the road, your donors. You likely have legacy donors, the ones who gave you money for those basketball courts 20 years ago. To them, those courts aren't just asphalt. They're a memorial to their late father or a symbol of their childhood. And when you tell them that investing in the courts is no longer going to be your top priority, they aren't going to cheer. They might even feel betrayed. This is a high-stakes communication challenge. You aren't just changing a program, you're remarketing the heart of your organization. You may have to move the conversation from what you do, in this case, basketball programming, to why you exist, back to that mission of youth well-being. If you can't bridge that gap, you'll lose your funding before you can even launch your new direction. The most successful pivots I've seen are the ones where the leadership is brutally honest. They don't sugarcoat the failure of the old model or the clear signs that it's time to move on to a new one. They say, we were great at what we did, but the world changed and we are brave enough to change with it. Pivoting is the ultimate proof point of mission loyalty. It shows that you care more about the people you serve than the legacy you love.